Today we are making Crockpot Veggie Soup. I love this recipe. It is packed full with lots of good veggies and it's all cooked together in a delicious soup that's easy and super affordable to make. And it has over 500 5-star reviews on our website because it's that good. And you're gonna love how easy it is to make. Hi, my name is Christina. I'm with eatingonadime.com. Welcome today to my kitchen. I have linked today's recipe in the description below. If you cannot find it, just Google Crockpot Veggie Soup, Eating on a Dime, and it'll pull right up. Or you can go to eatingonadime.com and just use our search feature and search Crockpot Veggie Soup and it'll pull right up. If you love the Crockpot as much as me and my sister do, you're gonna love this soup recipe. We make it on repeat in the fall and the winter months because it's so good and the whole family just loves it. Before we get started, let's talk about the crock pot. I am using a 6-quart crock pot for this recipe today. You can use 8-quart as well, but I would not go any smaller. We have linked all of our favorite crock pots in the description below. So if you're in the market for a new crock pot, check that out. Today, I am using an Instant Pot Aurora crock pot, which unfortunately they don't make anymore, and I'm really sad about it because I love it, but we've linked similar models for you in that post, so check it out. So for this recipe, you will need 2 pounds ground beef. I am using a lean ground beef today. This is 93.7, but you can use whatever you prefer or whatever is in your freezer. We do recommend that you pre-brown and drain this before adding it to the crock pot. Now, if you don't want to do ground beef, that's fine. Ground turkey, ground chicken, ground pork, all of those would work great. Or you could also use stew meat. You could use sliced steak or diced steak if you want to make it a little fancy. That would be awesome as well. I'm going to brown this on my stovetop today, but if your crock pot has a saute or browning feature on it, you can always brown this directly in your crock pot. I love that they are having those options now. It's a great time saver and you save dishes too. All right, let's take this over to the stovetop and get it browned up. Heat a large skillet over medium-high heat and then just add the ground beef directly to the skillet to brown it. I don't add any other oil or anything like that. I think the fat content in the beef is usually enough to prevent it from sticking to the pan. Then my sister and I love this tool. I will link it in the description below for you. I do not know the name of it, but it's awesome. It breaks up the beef so easily. This is the most used utensil in my kitchen, I promise. And I'm pretty sure you can get it for under $10 or $15, so it's a game changer. So we're just gonna brown this until it's no longer pink. We're gonna keep breaking it up as it browns, and then we'll drain off the excess grease. Continue to break it up as it browns. This is looking almost done. I'm just gonna do it a few more minutes, and then you can kind of see there's some excess grease in there. We're gonna drain that off just because you don't want that floating at the top of your soup. It's done, there's no more pink, so we're just gonna go to the sink and get this grease drained off. Once it's been drained, go ahead and just dump it directly into your crock pot. As a reminder, I'm using the 6-quart crock pot. It's gonna work great. Now it's time to add some potatoes. For this recipe, we use 3 russet potatoes, and we recommend that you peel them and dice them. You can use other potatoes. I would think the yellow gold would be awesome in here. I wouldn't peel those, and then I think red potatoes would taste great in this recipe as well. I go back and forth whether or not I would peel the red potatoes. I think it's just on how you like them. I enjoy the peel on red potatoes, so I may not peel them and just dice it up. The secret here is you want to dice these potatoes up small enough so that they will fit on a spoon for soup. So it's not like chunky potatoes for a roast, it's smaller bite-sized potatoes for a soup. So I've cut some here. I want to show you guys. This is the size I like to do. A bite size, perfect. So I just kind of cut it in half and then cut each half in half and then dice it from there. And then I just look at them and see if there's any that are a little bit bigger, and if so, I will just cut them down a little bit before throwing them into the crock pot. I wanted to mention too that you could use diced hash browns in here if you don't want to worry about dealing with the potatoes, and that would work great as well. These all look amazing though. Perfect. We're going to dump it right into the crock pot on top of that beef. And then we're going to add a half onion diced as well. This is white onion peeled and diced. You can use yellow onion as well. That would work great. I just do not recommend red. I think red would be too potent for this recipe, but yellow or white will work great. Again, you want it finely diced so that you don't have a big chunk of onion in your soup. And now we're going to add even more veggies. I like to add the 16 ounces frozen mixed veggie blend that you can get in the frozen vegetable aisle at your grocery store. I like to do the blend that has green beans, carrots, corn, and peas. It adds so much delicious veggies to this recipe, but there's a lot of options out there. So if your family doesn't like corn, I believe there's one without corn. There's also just the peas and carrots if you're not a big fan of green beans. So just get what you guys like, and it's going to make this recipe your own. It's a 16-ounce bag, and again, just dump it in the crock pot. Next, we're going to add some tomatoes. This soup has like a nice tomato broth, and it's amazing and delicious. We're adding 3 cans of the petite diced tomatoes. Each can is about 15 ounces, so it's a total of about 45 ounces if your cans come in different sizes. If you prefer crushed, you can use crushed instead. If you're worried about kids that don't like chunks of tomatoes in their soup, that's a great option. Or you could just do a tomato sauce, and that would work as well. One last can. I was going to tell you guys that this can opener is linked in our storefront, but I don't know if you want it after watching me use it just now. I have a love-hate relationship with this thing. When it works, it's great, but sometimes it struggles. Got it. All right, added right in. And then we're gonna add our seasonings. My favorite thing about this soup is that the seasonings are real simple and easy. We're gonna add 2 teaspoons Italian seasoning blend mix. If this is not available at your grocery store, we have a homemade version on eatingonadime.com. Just search Italian seasoning and it'll pull right up. And then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of pepper. Only thing left to add is some broth. Now this is a soup, so we are going to recommend that you use broth over water. It adds a ton of flavor. For this recipe, we are using 4 cups beef broth. This little jug that they sell at the store, it's 32 ounces, it's 4 cups. So just buy one of these and it's awesome. You can use the beef bouillon, hopefully I said that right, if you prefer that as well, and that works great. But don't use water because this is a soup. You want that nice, delicious broth flavor. Go ahead and stir all the ingredients together just so it's well combined. When you see up close, you can see why you need a bigger crock pot for this. This does make quite a bit of soup. This can easily feed 6 very hungry people or 8 moderately hungry people. I just like to make it for my family, and then the leftovers for lunch are perfect. Then just cover your crock pot, and you can cook this on low or you can cook it on high depending on how much time. So if you cook it on low, it's just going to take 4 to 6 hours, and you're just wanting to wait until those potatoes are nice and tender, or you can do it on high for 2 to 3. Again, you just want those potatoes like nice and tender. I always grab one with a fork and see how easy I can stab it with the fork and come out. So if you throw this on in the morning, I recommend you cook it on low, and then you come home from work and you have an amazing soup waiting for you. I'm going to cook mine on low today. And I'm going to do 6 hours for this crock pot. All right, we will let this cook, and I will be right back to show you how delicious this is. it's been cooking. So I just want to show you guys how I check the potatoes. I just get a little fork and I just kind of gently stab it into it, and easy in, easy out. And then you're the cook. Don't be afraid to give it a little taste test. Make sure it's tender enough for you. Perfect. It's the potatoes that take the longest to cook in this recipe, so that's what you're kind of looking for. This is perfect. It's awesome. Towards the end of the cook time, I always recommend on soups that you check the consistency of the broth, because each crock pot cooks a little bit different. So if yours cooks a little hotter, it might cook off some of that broth. So feel free to adjust that near the end of the cook time as you need it. I cannot wait to try this. It smells and looks amazing. Let's talk about how to serve this. This soup is hearty. It is packed full of vegetables. This is truly a one-pot meal. When I'm serving this to my kids, anytime I do soup, I usually do a fun bread because they love bread. I love bread too. So a fun roll. My kids love garlic knots, garlic bread. All of those are great options. I would just do a fun bread when you serve this soup. And the rest is in the soup, so you don't need to serve it with anything else. Leftovers. As we said, this makes a ton of soup. The leftovers store great. You can refrigerate it for up to 5 to 7 days. This is great to portion out into your lunches. You can heat it up and have a great, delicious, healthy lunch in no time at all. You can freeze this leftover soup as well. When you freeze soup that has potatoes in it, you just want to be really careful when you're reheating it up that the potatoes don't turn to mush. So when you reheat it, heat it up in the microwave or on the stovetop where you can watch it closely and make sure those potatoes do not get too soft. Thank you so much for joining me today in my kitchen. I hope you make this Crockpot Veggie Soup, and when you do, please go to our recipe and at the bottom leave us a comment and let us know what you think. We love hearing from you guys. It's so fun for us, and it gives us ideas on what you guys love and what you want to see more of. Do not forget to like and subscribe so you do not miss any more of our easy crockpot recipes that your entire family will love. And don't forget, you can grab that recipe that's linked in the description. Thank you guys so much. I love having you guys in my kitchen. I cannot wait to eat this any longer. I will see you guys next time. Bye, friends.